Alaska, the last frontier, and with such beauty to embrace. But when the eagle soars and the sun goes down, vampires and dope fiends raise from the ground. 1488s and Samoan gangbangers. I live in hell, the hookers would tell. Around every corner, a thug with a gun. All being ruled by old man John. Mm. Hey, everybody. Mm. How's it going? You see, I got my new hat on. It's a different one, anyways. Well, I thought about a couple different ones yesterday, and I'm gonna give you a little bit. One side about Happy. He was an important one, and there's two parts to this story. But I'll tell you the first part. When I got a beat at the door, it was Memphis. Memphis. John Hoare rhymes with John Hoare is his name, and he comes, John, listen, dude, listen, man, look, I got all these tools. I got his tote full of tools. He's got this big black Stanley tote. It's got wheels on it, and it's full of DeWalt tools. And I'm like, well, what do you want? What do you want? I want 900, 700 something. I'm like, I'll give you two. And he said, look, man, if you do this for me, I'll do this and this and this and this. And I'm like, wow, what's the deal, man? What's the big deal? He's, bro, he says, I owe Happy. And Happy's after me. And I'm like, who the fuck is Happy? He says, well, he ain't happy today. And he wasn't. Memphis had got this motherfucker for, I don't know, probably 10 grand. He was pissed off about 10 grand worth. And I wasn't going to do anything with him. I mean, I wasn't going to do anything like that. I was going to do something with him so he could get well and I could come up on some tools. So I was working a deal with him. And then his phone rings and he's like, I'm not answering, I'm not answering, I'm not answering. And it was Happy. But a couple minutes later, it rang and it was a buddy that we both know, Tennessee. And Tennessee shows up and he says, dude, have you seen Happy out there? And he says, yeah, I seen him down the street. He's pissed the fuck off. And he's going to beat this dude's ass. He's going to beat this dude's ass. So the long of the skinny was, this is how I met Happy, knowing who he was and what kind of guy he was, that these two dudes are scared to death of him. That's a fact. And when I got to meet Happy, we had did a few things, and we did a few things with some girls. Meaning, brought some girls over and had some dope dealer parties and stuff like that. Um, Nothing funny. Everybody's grown ups. Nothing. Nothing out of line. And anyways, Happy had did some terrible shit to some dude he had in his basement that he's torturing. He's got him tied up to a wooden crate like that dude did on that movie with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was with that guy. What was the name of that? Damn it. Oh, no, I'm going to have a fit. Pulp Fiction? Yeah, it was Pulp Fiction. Wasn't that Pulp Fiction? Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction? Yeah, yeah. And anyways, so when I saw this, I thought this is a weird fucking dude. I didn't realize he was weird upstairs, and he's weird as in he's dealing with some like deep, dark Mexican voodoo magic or some shit. And his wife was in it. I don't know how. He always said a bunch of things about her. I think he was just mean to her. But at any rate, the rumor has it that if you went to sleep with Happy and he was in your jail cell, that he'd wake up with his in your and it wasn't going to be a nice day for anybody. That's the rumor. That's what I heard from Memphis. Hey, I didn't question it. I don't want to. You don't got to share nothing with me. Yada yada. But I do know he owed him some money. So once we got over that hurdle, Happy and I had done a lot of things together, and there was a lot of money involved, and we knew each other very well. Go down the road about a year, and I also know this other dirtbag named Asia. There's a picture of her. I'm gonna show you a picture of her. And Asia was did a few things with me, a few things with him, and I had gotten ready to go down to Valdez, and I needed a little something, something, and she always had plenty, plenty. Not always, but she had some now, and it was just a little bit. But apparently, she had told him that I had taken like a kilo and robbed her of it, peeled her for it. And I'm like, well, first of all, you know me well enough to know I don't take no fronts. Period. That's rule number one. That's the last thing I'm worried about. And why he would think that, I don't know. Well, I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all until one day when I got called over to jump in the truck with Asia. Now I did owe Asia about 300-400 bucks for what she had given me, but what she had told him was something different. So I jump out and I go over to talk to Asia. I said, "Listen, I'll have your money for you here. Give me an hour or whatever. It was just, I don't know, a couple $100, 300-400 bucks, and I got a strap around my throat, and this dude's got and I'm doing this, trying to get my fingers up underneath it, and I don't know how he must. If I believe it was a seatbelt, he must have lost his grip for a second. I got a little bit loose, and I got my hand down up underneath the steering wheel and got it locked on the horn, and it's blowing for what seemed like forever. And Asia finally she's shuffling sideways, and I'm shoving. I got my fingers here, keeping my throat from getting ripped off, and she starts screaming, "Stop! Stop! Stop!" And I didn't stop, but I looked up, and there's people all around the front of the truck with their cameras out, just like this. They're all standing there filming this, and she's got blood all over her from my face. This guy, so he's got the strap on me. I see this window open, and I'm like, "Am I opening up that window?" And then I realize she's opening up the window, and this guy comes around. He's got a halibut bat. It's a bright orange bat, about 2 foot long, made of super hard plastic, and it's what you use to kill a halibut with when you get it up on the deck. And he starts beating me right in the head with it. There's a chunk missing right out of my nose, right there. And but so that's blood shooting all over her. As soon as actually she did stop and relax, I reached over and grabbed her doorknob and shoved her, and I rolled. Both of us rolled right out like a commando roll. And I jumped up. I shoved my knee right in her lower rib cage just to hurt her. And all these people come running around. Are you okay? Are you okay? Am I okay? Check your footage. You're sitting there videotaping me getting annihilated, executed, and the car I was with was sitting directly behind us. Him and her were arguing like a married couple because that's what they were, and I'm up there getting my throat choked out. And these were people that were waiting for me. I mean, I was in their back seat when they came over and asked about jumping in the truck with Asia. So I said, "You got your pistol? You got your piece? You got your piece?" Yeah, they both had a pistol. And I said, "Watch me. Watch me." And he says, "I got you. I'm right on you." So when I got out and walked over to the truck, they pulled right up behind the truck. They were sitting right there. I knew they were there. But they didn't come to the door, didn't come to the window. They didn't know shit was going on. And they didn't even see all the people lined up around the front of the truck holding their cameras up. Ain't that crazy? I got out of that right then because as soon as they saw me get off of her, they jumped out, and I told them, "Throw me your gun." And that's when Asia jumped in the truck. I didn't shoot her tire because I didn't want the truck broke down right there where we were at. We were at the Ptarmigan Hotel, and at any rate, so that's the guy that Happy is. That's the guy that Happy is. And about an hour after that incident, I called him up to tell him he's a dead man, and he's insistent telling me all I want is my fucking money. And I said, what fucking money are you talking about, dude? I don't owe you any money. We have no business going on." And he said, "That was my half a kilo you took from Asia." I'm like, "What?" I didn't take nothing from Asia. Well, I took 2 grams and a T-shirt of Go. Nothing but personal, really. And but she apparently robbed him, and and she knew that he would believe that she would front it to me. He would do that if I said, "Asia, give me all everything you got. I'll pay you tomorrow." She would give it to me, and he knew that she would do that. So it was believable. It was believable. Instead of saying I came and robbed her and didn't call you and tell you about it. At any rate, I told him, I said, "You're wrong. You know you're wrong. I said, whatever this dumbass pulled over you, you're the one that's going to pay for it now. Because I'm not going to sit and let this go. This is not going to go, not on my fucking block." This time went on for about 4.5 5 months before I saw him, and I had somebody go over and peel him for $1,000 because he was in the middle of something that I had control over. And I told him, I said, "Go in there and take that dope, and you tell him you'll be right back. Bring it to me." And they did. And that was the last I saw him for about 3 more months after that, when I was in jail. When I had went to lunch, when I had went to lunch or dinner at 3:30 and came back from dinner, tired, had class that day or whatever. I'm in prison, and I walked right into my corner cell, and he says, "Hey, John, how's it going, man? How's it going, man?" I turned and looked, and I said, "Do I? Oh, fuck. We got to get this over with." And because this is Alaska, I got a big heavy coat on. They give you a coat. I took my coat off, and he said, "No, we're good. We're good." No, I know Asia ripped me off. Her roommate and her girlfriend told them all about it. He said, "Yeah, her roommate and her girlfriend told them all about it." I said, "Well, you don't even need to hear all about it to know that that's a line of bullshit." I don't, At any rate, so that was the risk. So here I am coming in, and there he is, and he's like, "No, we're good." Okay, so why are you here? Him and Pringle beat this dude Keegan Walker to death, dumped him in a tote, closed the lid, and left him there. And turns out the guy had an ankle monitor on. And his PO is like, "Damn, this guy hasn't moved anywhere in 48 hours. Wonder what's going on." And so they came looking for him, and by God, they found him. He was in that tote. So once that location had become on high alert, everybody had communicated, and the probation office for the state had said, "Wow, that's funny that there was something going on at that address, because that's where one of my guys was for quite a while." Happy. Happy had ankle monitor on. And he was in the same spot with that dude for 6 hours between ripping him off and killing him. And that's how they knew. That's how they tied him together. But it wasn't a lot bigger. It seemed to be that simple, especially since when they got to the house, the lady of the house said, "Oh, there's nobody here." And he said, "Well, yeah." He's looking on his laptop, I guess, and he says, "Yeah, there's somebody here, or at least this device is here, and I got a warrant. We're gonna get it right now." And so she let him come in. She acted. I don't know what to think. Either she knew and lied to him and got away with it because she did get away. She did not. She didn't get charges. She didn't get charges, and maybe rightly so because well, I she's the one the dude owed money to. She called Happy and Pringle over there to beat his ass and take his money, but she says, "I didn't tell him to fucking kill him." The guy had $1,700 on him. They could have taken his money and just and been happy with that. Oh no, hell no. I think he sodomized the dude too, because apparently that is what Happy does. Apparently that is what he does. But John John Brownie, he's there, and I'm talking to him for a minute, and I said, well, "Why are you here?" Because I know he knows Happy. He goes, "Oh," he says, "well, when he got here the first day, he called me and told me to go over there and take a gun and threaten everybody and make sure they know you'll blow their head away if anybody rats on me." He's like, "What?" And that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what. When the cops showed up, the lady says, "Well, I'll tell you what happened now. This motherfucker came over right after after we found him, and threatened me, broke my door, and so they pulled Happy out of there, wrapped him up with two more felonies for tampering with evidence and threatening to kill somebody, threatening to murder. And the dude who he called him from jail, so he's on tape already. That's how they got him. That's just how stupid some people are, and really, and you can't get dumber than this one. But this is just one of the things that Happy's done besides sodomizing men and chaining them up. And I've seen him chained up, but I've seen also some dirty stuff he does with girls. That's why I wouldn't leave my girls there. And I left one there for about 3 hours. Two of them, they were sisters. And I left them there for about 3 hours, and she called me, and I said, "Don't worry, I'll be right there. And I'm not leaving you in that." That's just many one examples of what a dirtbag Happy was. In fact, I'm going to give you a little spotlight on what's coming up. I'm going to just rattle off a few things. So Happy sold this lady's house, his aunt's house, like 3 or 4 times, and kept getting the money off, and then he was renting it. And if you don't think that was good enough, he cut a dude's finger off who, I don't know what he owed him, and then he has raped multiple men. I've got about 3 stories out of prison to tell you about that one, because it's not very easy to hide shit like that in prison, and it's certainly not easy to survive it. But Happy's a big old boy, but he got his in the end. In fact, just to let you know, he's doing 57 to life right now. But there are so many crazy things that went on. I cannot even begin to tell you what happened. So many cars that were stolen. You know how many guns I looked down the barrel of? Believe it or not, I do believe that I have dodged death once or twice. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about it. All the questions you have, I'll be happy to answer them. Please hit that like and subscribe, and join me for more adventures of true crime confessions out of Alaska. Oh.